Thomas O'Malley, Ed Williams and Corey Riley. A midfield wearing it, Paddy Dowd, number 9, Ed Barden. The half forward line, number 10 is David Barden. Centre half forward 11, Paul Barden, and number 12 Luke McGuinness. The full forward on the right, number 13 John Smith. Full forward number 14 John Dowd. On top of the left goalie, number 15 Joe O'Brien. Ballymahon line now in goal, Fergal Kelly. The full back line, Gavin Dooley, Ken Lowell of Quinn. The half back line, Robbie Buck, number 12 Mark Connor. And the full forward line on the right, Conor Lanning wearing 13. 14 is Mark Lennon, and 15 top of the left, Frankie Dolan.
Cross Hotel Longford Senior Football Championship Final. The Longford Pipe Band making their way off the field. We'll hear more from them a little bit later on this afternoon. The crowd has picked up, perhaps around in the region of maybe 4,500 people. Not as big as last year, perhaps not as big as expected, but when you look at other county finals around the country, well then certainly the crowd at the Longford final is as big, if not bigger than most. And the referee Tommy Donoghue just making a few final checks very, very shortly. He'll throw the ball in to commence the 2003 county final here in Longford. Paddy Dowd in that middle sector with Enda Barden, and against them for Ballymahon, John O'Callaghan, and Mark Lennon, I believe, has moved in from full forward to take his place at midfield. The ball is thrown in. Paddy Dowd is first to it for Clonguish, but again Ballymahon winning possession. It's Alan Hudson gets the ball back outside towards the number 13 Cathal Nally. Ballymahon go in search of the first score of the game in towards the centre half forward. That's Trevor Smullen, but the ball with too much pace on it, going out over the sideline underneath the stand on the far side of the field, and a first sideline ball for the Clonguish men. It'll be taken by Gerard O'Malley. Clonguish, who led at one stage in last year's final by 9 points to 4 and looked to be coasting to victory, but weren't banking on the performance of Frankie Dolan in the second half, and as Dennis mentioned, his total of 1-8 certainly proving the difference between the sides. Here come Ballymahon. Trevor Smullen plays the ball outside towards Mark Connor, normally very accurate from all areas of the field. Still Mark Connor, but very good defending from Clonguish. Paddy Dowd back helping out his defence. He's a very fit man, is Paddy Dowd. He's only 18 years of age. Is still Dowd. Lovely reverse pass inside towards Tomas O'Malley. O'Malley gets it back to Enda Williams, and a long clearance from Williams looking towards Joe O'Brien, I think. In fact, it's John Smith who's gathered possession for Clonguish. Plays a good ball inside, but too close to the Ballymahon defence, who clear their lines once more. Here's Ken Cooney, plays it inside towards John O'Callaghan. John O'Callaghan for Ballymahon into Trevor Smullen. Smullen with just the goalie to beat, but he's shown too much of that to Martin McHugh, and in the end the ball has gone out off the boot of Martin McHugh, although it looked like a wide ball. The umpire giving a 45. Certainly one would suggest that Trevor Smullen may have been the last man to touch that, but in any case it's a 45 metre kick for Ballymahon, and it's a chance for Frankie Dolan to get his scoring show on the road this afternoon. Of course, remember 1-8 last year, and remember the year he's had for Roscommon this year. Certainly he's bang in form, and a chance for him to set the tone for Ballymahon this afternoon. 45 metre kick. We have just a couple of minutes action here in Pearse Park. He takes it short. Frankie gets it back, and now he should score from here. Frankie Dolan steps up and kicks, and he's put it over the bar. Good score for Frankie, the first score of the championship final here in Pearse Park in Longford, and that's the start that Ballymahon wanted, Dennis.
It surely is, and I see that Ballymahon have changed their team around as we expected they would. Trevor Smullen and Frankie Dolan are playing inside. Cathal Nally has gone back to act as an extra defender, and Mark Lennon has moved to the wing. Mark Connor's gone onto the 40 yards playing centre forward. He's playing an Enda Williams, and that's it's going to be a difficult game for Enda Williams, marking a player who's banging form for a young guy like him having to face Mark Connor. But it's a very lively open to the game so far, and it's a fantastic day for football, so I expect a very good game.
Well, let's hope that's the case. Here come Clonguish over on the far side of the field. Gerard O'Malley. Still Gerard gets possession up at the second time of asking, gets the ball back inside towards Luke McGuinness, but a push there on Gerard O'Malley, and a free kick for the Clonguish men. Enda Barden will take it, floats it in towards the danger area. Joe O'Brien tries to win it, but in the end it's won back by Ballymahon, who are very effective and very efficient in defence, it must be said, and have been for most of this championship. They've won possession through Ken Cooney over on the far side, but the ball again has gone out over the sideline, and it once more will be a line ball to Clonguish. Just a little over 3.5 minutes gone in this county final for 2003. Enda Barden, a long dangerous ball. John Dowd comes out and wins it. Can he get there? In fact, he's dropped it and unable to get possession back. It's back with Ballymahon. Justin Nally coming away for the men in red and white this afternoon. It's now with Mark Connor. Connor back inside towards Alan Hudson, a man who didn't impress in the first round of the championship, but he's been a revelation since then. Alan Hudson, but he's wasted possession. Enda Barden gets it back, long, high, searching ball inside towards John Dowd. Again, Dowd tries to hold it, but the ball breaks kindly for Joseph O'Brien, who looks up and shoots, and that one has gone. In fact, it's gone out to the right and it's gone wide. So an early opportunity for Joe O'Brien, his first taste of the action, and normally Joe wears number 20 on this Clonguish team, but today he wears number 15. Has always started in the championship, but I think it's the first time in this campaign that he's actually started with a jersey under the number 15. Here's the goalkeeper for Ballymahon, Fergal Kelly, a very good shot stopper, a very good kick out, and really an all-round very good goalkeeper. He takes the kick out towards the 45-metre line. Up goes Paddy Dowd, but he can't climb as high as Mark Lennon, who wins clean possession for Ballymahon, and he's been fouled by David Barden, and it's a free kick to Ballymahon. Clonguish unable to get their first score of the game, and the first score will be vital. Frankie Dolan in possession, way out from his desired position of about 10 yards from the goalkeeper, but in any case he's got possession and gets it inside towards Mark Connor. Mark Connor inside once more towards Edwin Nally, fisted across the face of the goal. Out comes Martin McHugh. A timely interception, but perhaps not the best of things to do. Possession staying with Ballymahon, and in the end Tommy Donoghue awarding a free kick to Ballymahon, and this in a very, very scoreable position for Frankie Dolan, who's making his way across. It should be 2 points to no score, and Ballymahon are being economical, to say the least, Dennis, early on. Yeah,
that was very dangerous. Martin McHugh did very well in goals to knock that ball away. He was very brave, and then if John Dowd or Paddy Dowd fouled Cathal Nally. And so far the game's two contrasting styles of play, and the Barden is launching very high ball into John Dowd on the far end of the field for Clonguish, and Ballymahon are playing a much shorter game, with Trevor Smullen just playing in front of inside the 20-metre line by himself, and Frankie Dolan playing a much deeper role. We saw him out there in the halfway line a few minutes ago, but this should be an easy kick for Frankie now as he steps up to take it.
And Frankie kicks, and as usual Frankie scores. 2 points to no score in favour of Ballymahon, and Frankie Dolan, in so many ways the hero of last year's county final, has got his second score of the afternoon. Let's talk about the wind for a moment, Dennis. In the juvenile final played earlier, Mostrom, playing into the Newtown Forbes goal, enjoyed wind advantage in the first half. Certainly the wind doesn't seem to be having the same effect on this game. Who seems to be I suppose enjoying it in the first half?
Clonguish appeared to have the wind with them. That's a serious kick out by Martin McHugh. Has already landed on the 45-metre line, the far end of the field, so they definitely have the wind behind them, and it will have a major bearing on the game. As players get tired, that wind will be of great benefit to them.
It certainly will. It's a free kick to Clonguish. But certainly the wind has died somewhat since the juvenile final, and indeed if we look around the ground and look at the flags on the sideline, they have eased somewhat. There's the first score of the game for Clonguish, a point for Paul Barden. A good start for the Clonguish man. His first taste of the action this afternoon, exactly what Clonguish wanted, back to within a point, and certainly Clonguish with the aid of the breeze, which as we mentioned, it is fairly stiff but not as strong as it was earlier. Certainly Clonguish will need to build up some advantage before half time. Fergal Kelly once more to take the kick out. Again, he'll be aiming the ball around the centre of the field, where John O'Callaghan has made a quick dart to try and maybe pick up possession, but the direction of the kick is away from O'Callaghan, and it's won back by Clonguish. David Barden, still David Barden trying to race away from two Ballymahon players. Still David Barden in possession, switches it back outside to Joseph O'Brien. Joe, member of last year's victorious Longford minor team, looks up and kicks across the face of the goal. John Dowd chases after it, but he'd need wings to get to that one. Gone out to the left and wide, and again the wind as we speak just picking up, the breeze picking up, the flags beginning to wave a little bit, and certainly Clonguish now with the wind will need to make the most of it. Another bad wide for them. That's I think a second wide for Clonguish. Ballymahon have been less wasteful at the other end of the pitch. Fergal Kelly once more will take the kick out. 2 points to 1 in favour of Ballymahon if you're just joining us here in Pearse Park. Kelly kicks out past the 45-metre line, knocked down by Paddy Dowd. Racing after this one is David Barden, who started well in this year's county final. David gets away from Ballymahon's number 7, Justin Nally. Still David Barden, he fists it over the bar. A good score from David Barden. A lot expected from all three Barden brothers, but in particular it must be said, Dennis, from David, because he has some potential. Hasn't really shown it to the full in this year's championship, but already he started really well.
Yeah, that was a great score by David. Justin Alley found it very hard to live at his pace. He got away from him very easily there and fisted over the bar. It's an excellent score. The big difference in the kick-outs with the wind. Mark McHugh's kick-outs are landing on the opposition's 45-metre line nearly, and that one has just barely made their own 45-metre line for Ballymahon. So the wind is causing a problem, there's no doubt about that. I know it's not that strong, but it's different when you're down at the level of the pitch. At pitch level it will be stronger than we're experiencing up here.
Fergal Kelly once more. Following that very good score from David Barton, kicks out. It's going to be won back by Clonguish. Paddy Dowd, the fit and physical Dowd, plays a good ball inside toward Joseph O'Brien, who gets there ahead of Philip Quinn. In fact, it's Gavin Dooley, not Philip Quinn. Gavin Dooley playing at corner back this afternoon for Ballymahon, wearing number 2. Philip Quinn wearing number 4. But in any case, that one gone out to the right and wide from Joseph O'Brien. 2 points apiece. It remains a tight and close battle. A third wide for Clonguish. Ballymahon yet to register 1. Frankie Dolan getting the opening 2 scores of the game after 2 and 6 minutes. And points from the Barton brothers, Paul and David, levelling matters. 2 points apiece. Fergal Kelly being told by the referee Tommy Donoghue just to move the ball slightly to the left and hurry up a little with the kick out. Remember, Ballymahon against the breeze in the first half will be hoping to get to half time very much in contention, and will hope to use the advantage of the elements after the break, as Fergal Kelly kicks out again, held up by the wind on the 45-metre line. But Ballymahon have possession. Mark Lennon tries to furrow his way through along this left-hand touchline, but in the end a dangerous shoulder, I think, from Paul Barden, and the Ballymahon man on the ground. I'm not sure who he is, but it will be a free to Ballymahon, 45 metres out from their own goal, and it's Paul Barden who's been spoken to by Tommy Donoghue, and we could be seeing the first yellow card of this match. No, in fact we're not, but there was perhaps a case for it, Dennis, on that occasion.
It was hard to know. Paul stood his ground and John hit him, and Paul is deceptively strong. It's noticeable that all the kickouts for Ballymahon are being aimed at Mark Lennon out on this side of the field here beside us, and Mark is trying to break them down or catch them cleanly himself. That's just one of their tactics at the moment. They don't seem to be doing anything else with their kickouts. Their kickouts aren't going that far. But at the moment it's just even. It's very even. The two teams are basically cancelling each other out, and there's not much excitement in at the moment. Hopefully it might liven up a little bit. It's a lot of stops, a lot of starts in the game so far.
That was John O'Callaghan who received that knock, and he's a big man. That'll tell you how strong Paul Barden is. John O'Callaghan takes the free kick short and quick towards Alan Hudson. Hudson trying to get it inside towards Edwin Nally, and Tommy Donoghue giving a free to Ballymahon. There's a bit of argy-bargy going on between Edwin Nally and Tomás O'Malley, but it's a free to Ballymahon. It's 47 metres out from goal, and Frankie won't be going for a score from here. I'm sure he'll be knocking it in towards the edge of the square. Dangerous looking ball, falls kindly for Mark Connor, now with Trevor Smullen. Smullen, however, has lost possession, uncharacteristically it must be said. Clonguish have possession back. Luke McGuinness over on the far side has been fouled. Free out to Clonguish, and Clonguish will be just lorrying the ball in towards John Dowd at full forward, particularly in this first half with the strong breeze. Tomás O'Malley, long high ball, cut out by the Ballymahon defence, but it's now with Paul Barden. 45 out from goal, still Paul Barden for Clonguish. Looks up and shoots, and that is a wonderful kick from Paul Barden, and a wonderful score from Paul Barden. 3 points to 2 in favour of Clonguish, and certainly he is the man as far as Clonguish are concerned, Dennis Connerton, and if he gets enough of the ball, Clonguish could win this one.
Indeed it could. Paul Barden was excellent in the semi-final. He scored 6 points from play. That was a tremendous point with his left foot, and he going away from goals. He just breaking ball, broke kindly, and Paul was in like a light and gone with the ball, and there's nothing the Ballymahon defence could do about that. Long ball out of defence, as you said, Brendan. They are using the long ball policy, trying to get the ball in as quickly as possible to John Dowd and see if John can catch it cleanly or break it down for Paul Barden.
Kick out from Kelly once more. It's won back by one of his own teammates, this time Justin Nally, who's been fouled. Free kick to Ballymahon, taken by John O'Callaghan. Takes it short towards Mark Connor. Ballymahon moving the ball quickly. Robbie Forbes around the halfway line, playing a dangerous looking ball inside, but again the sweeper Paddy Dowd is there to clear the lines for Clonguish. Paul Barden knocks it back towards Brendan Burke. He's had a huge championship for Clonguish, has Brendan. Not a very good ball from him, but Joseph O'Brien throws his weight around, gets himself into position to pick up the loose ball. A dangerous looking ball inside. This time John Dowd has possession. gives it inside once more. Clonguish building and attacking and looking for a fourth score, and the effort has been kicked in by their number 12 Luke McGuinness, but it's held in play by the goalkeeper Fergal Kelly, and now Ken Lovell going around in circles slightly has possession for Ballymahon, takes a lot of steps with it. Referee says play on, and now Ballymahon can build from the back. John O'Callaghan gets the ball back inside, good shoulder from John Dowd on Ken Cooney, but Cooney gets it back inside towards O'Callaghan. Cooney once more. John Dowd not happy with something John O'Callaghan did, so he returns the compliment. O'Callaghan is on the ground, but Enda Williams has possession for Clonguish. Gets the ball back inside towards Luke McGuinness. Lovely ball inside from Luke, but it's well defended. A chance for Joseph O'Brien, however, who shoots. It's gone over the bar, but the referee Tommy Donoghue had stopped play just moments before O'Brien shot his first point of the afternoon, so that one will not count. It's a free in to Clonguish, I do believe. And the referee calling on attention. It's a Ballymahon man who's down on the field. It was one of those incidents, I suppose, Dennis, where play could have been let run on, but it's Gavin Dooley who's down, but it will be a free to Clonguish. It will be a free, and Tommy felt that Gavin Dooley impeded John Smith, so he gave a free in, even though the ball was put over the bar before that from play. It's just a major contrast in styles. Ballymahon are playing very short passing, slow build up, and the lost possession there in front of us, which was it's a very sloppy pass in the end. Clonguish are playing a much longer game, and it's much more simplistic. And at the moment, I tell you, the Clonguish style of play is paying off a little bit more than the Ballymahon style at the moment. Similarly, in the juvenile final, I know you only saw the tail end of it, but in the first half, 13 points to 2 in favour of Mostrom. I'm not saying that Clonguish need to be 13 points to 2 in front, but they certainly need to be in front, Dennis. I would imagine so. The wind, to me, seems to be reasonably strong, but the wind won't decide the game. It's just a contrast in styles of play. I think Ballymahon felt that in the semi-final as well. They're a little bit slow moving the ball out of their half-back line. They just take too many extra passes out of it, and they go backwards too much. They've tried to play the possession game a little bit too much, but they'll get breaks and they'll get scores before the end of the game. The game is only developing at the moment. Collie Clark has been introduced for Clonguish. Not sure who has gone off. Paul Barden takes the free, knocks it over the bar. It's John Smith who has gone off. He was in need of attention. Perhaps it's a temporary substitution, I'm not sure, but it's a point for Clonguish nonetheless, and from a position of being 2 points down, playing with the breeze, now Clonguish find themselves 4 points to 2 in front. We have had over 16, almost 17 minutes of the first half, and Clonguish leading double scores, 4-2. Fergal Kelly takes the kick, takes it short and takes it quick towards Justin Nally. Nally has been fouled. Free out to Ballymahon. Mark Lennon protesting somewhat, saying, why did you not let play run on that occasion, Tommy? Tommy being Tommy Donoghue, the referee, but it is a free to Ballymahon, about 40 metres out from goal. And Ballymahon, who haven't scored since the 6th minute, that's 12 minutes, will be looking for another score fairly quickly, but not like that. Mark Lennon dropping a ball out of his hands, normally the very safe hands of Mark Lennon. Brendan Burke for Clonguish, a very solid defender. There's lots of argy-bargy going on between Paddy Dowd and a couple of Ballymahon players, and they've tried to sort it out. A push in the back, however, at the other end of the field after the ball had been kicked in by Clonguish. A push by John Dowd on, I think it may have been Ken Lovell. A free kick to Ballymahon, but Paddy Dowd just getting into a little bit of argy-bargy there, and I suppose really handbag stuff, to say the least. It's all been sorted out, and it will be a free kick to Ballymahon on their own 45-metre line. The referee Tommy Donoghue has awarded a free to Ballymahon. He's now going over to have words with one of the Ballymahon players, Edwin Nally. It looks like we're going to have the first yellow card. Yes, indeed, the first yellow card of this year's county final in Longford has been handed out to Ballymahon's Edwin Nally. Still 4 points to 2 in favour of Clonguish, and now the referee is asking Ken Cooney to bring the ball back inside the 45-metre line and take the free kick, which he has done. Gets it out to Alan Hudson and gets it back from Hudson inside towards Mark Connor. Connor on the halfway line has been fouled. Again, cheers of disapproval from the Clonguish following, but it is a free to Ballymahon. The ball pulled from the grasp of Mark Connor, And the county champions now with a chance to get a ball in towards the danger area, but not like that. Ken Cooney's effort falling short, but still it's with Ballymahon over on the far side. Robbie Forbes, dangerous ball inside, could fall kindly for Edwin Nally. And however he has managed it, he's got it up into his hands. Edwin Nally, still Edwin Nally, great ball across. It must be a goal. It is a goal for Ballymahon. And who else only Trevor Smullen? But it came really from Edwin Nally. He did ever so well to win possession. No marking at all from the Clonguish defence. 3 men had gone across to try and mark Edwin Nally, and when Nally got the opportunity, when he squared it in, there was nobody in the centre except Ballymahon players, and an easy finish for Trevor Smullen, Dennis.
Trevor did well. He had the dive to put it in. It was going a little bit away from him, but it was terrible mark until he saw him. There were 2 guys loose inside, and Edwin Nally did very well to win the ball when it came in. Thomas Malley was very tight, marked him very tightly, but he still got the vital break on it, and it came from a very poor free kick by Ken Cooney. Just kicked it up in the air, and Ballymahon got the lucky break. And those things really decide championship matches. As I noticed in the championship, neither team has scored that many goals. Ballymahon scored 4 goals in 6 matches, so now they've added to their tally. Whereas Clonguish only scored 5 and 4, so neither team has been noted for their goal scoring ability so far in the championship.
There's an effort from Colin Clark. It's gone out to the right and wide. Colin Clark in for John Smith on the Clonguish team. Ballymahon will be very happy. They're a point in front, and really Clonguish have had the lion's share of possession in this first half, but Ballymahon very, very economical. They've scarcely had more attacks than they've had scores in this first half, and they lead 1-2 to 4 points. A major blow for the Clonguish men. However, John Smith has just been reintroduced to replace Colin Clark, who came on as a temporary replacement just a few moments ago. So Clonguish now back to the 15 with which they started. A kick out for Ballymahon as the clouds begin to descend on Pearse Park. For many times, on many occasions this afternoon, it looked like it was going to be a blistering hot Sunday, but the clouds descending now, and we could have rain perhaps even before half time. Here come Ballymahon once more. Mark Lennon can't get possession up into his hands. It will be won back by Clonguish. Good play from the Clonguish number 10, David Barden, who's been fouled, and Tommy Donoghue awarding the free kick to Clonguish. They're now a point behind. They had led by 4 points to 2, but a good finish from Trevor Smullen after excellent play from Edwin Nally. Just a couple of minutes after Nally had been booked and became the first player to be yellow carded by Tommy Donoghue, Nally was instrumental in setting up Smullen for the game's opening goal. It's 1-2 to 4 points. It's not a great county final, but certainly there is potential, one might say, if the scores stay close, that we could have at least an exciting game. That's a good kick from Enda Barden, his first score of the county final. The sides are back on level terms, 1-2 to 5 points. Tommy Donoghue awarding the free following the foul on David, and Enda Barden, his brother, scoring the equaliser. Clonguish certainly on level terms, but Dennis, they should be in front.
Clonguish should be in front. Ballymahon got the goal, and that was vital for them. That was a great kick by Enda Barden. Enda can put those frees over the bar with his eyes closed. He's done it so often in the past. It's a very scrappy game. Clonguish are in top, but they're not getting the scores, and Ballymahon got a lucky break and got a goal, and Trevor Smullen is playing full forward by himself. He's the only player really inside the 45 metre line, and he's at this stage there's no ball going into him at all, just the odd scrap coming here and there, but that's about the height of it.
Perhaps he would be better served at full forward with the wind, but that remains to be seen. We'll know more about that after half time. Still, we have about 7.5 minutes to go to the break here in Pearse Park. Ballymahon have themselves a free just inside their own half of the field. Tommy Donoghue wants Mark Lennon to bring it back, so Frankie Dolan decides, leave it for me. Inside the Ballymahon half of the field, Dolan kicks with the outside of the boot. It's a lovely ball from Dolan towards Trevor Smullen, and Smullen, certainly the target man for Ballymahon, has been fouled, and another scoreable opportunity for Frankie Dolan. It's only about 20 metres out from goal. It's a very tight angle, and indeed Trevor Smullen was I suppose this morning dealing with the death of his grandmother, and indeed playing a vital part for Ballymahon in this championship final this afternoon. A great character from this young man to be able to come and play in a county final after such sad news for his family earlier on today. Frankie Dolan with the free kick. 24 minutes gone in the first half, and that's how you take a free kick. A wonderful score from Frankie Dolan. If he had wind assistance, it would have been straightforward, but it's never straightforward for Frankie Dolan, and that was some kick, Dennis.
It was a beautiful kick. He's a fantastic striker of the ball. That was a lovely score. Lovely score again. Frankie set up the score with a long free kick into Trevor Smullen. I'm surprised that Clonguish didn't drop a man back in front of Trevor Smullen for the free, because it's obvious that all of those kicks will be aimed for Trevor Smullen, who's great at making space for himself, and he was fouled by Seamus Prunty. And Trevor, when the ball is played into Trevor, he's not getting very much of it. When it is played in, he is to beat Seamus Prunty every time.
Frankie Dolan, the only point scorer for Ballymahon this afternoon. He has scored 3 points for them. Trevor Smullen with the goal. It's 1-3 for Ballymahon, 5 points for Clonguish. It's a close match, but Ballymahon, remember, playing against the breeze in the first half. Dangerous ball inside again. Seamus Prunty, however, gets there ahead of Trevor Smullen and gets it out towards Enda Williams. Williams to Brendan Burke. Good play from Clonguish. Now we will see a long ball perhaps going in towards John Dowd. Not just yet, however, as the ball is played short towards Pádraig Riley. Riley inside towards Paul Barden. A chance for Barden to run. Gets it back inside towards Paddy Dowd. Dowd turns and Dowd shoots, and that's a lovely score from Paddy Dowd. He certainly is playing very, very well this afternoon. And the midfielder has got his first score of the county final. And Ballymahon not as dominant, Dennis, in midfield as perhaps we might have expected.
No, they're not getting it all their own way in midfield. That was a great score by Paddy Dowd, though, with his weaker foot. I won't say his weak foot, his weaker foot. He kicked it very well, and that's outside of the three Bardens. That's the only other Clonguish player to score. And the Bardens have been, so far the Bardens have been great at putting the ball between the posts and getting vital scores for Clonguish. And it's good to see somebody else break in there and get a score as well, add to that tally.
They need, however, somebody else to do it as well. Perhaps Joseph O'Brien. We'll wait and see. The ball is kicked out. David Barden wins it cleanly ahead of the Ballymahon number 7, Justin Nally. Loses possession momentarily, gets it back up into his hands. He's got a man outside if he wants him. The man outside is Pádraig Riley, who looks up and shoots, and that one I think is going to go out to the left. Indeed it has. It's gone out to the left and it's gone wide. We're still waiting, I do believe, for the first Ballymahon wide of this county final. That will tell you how economical they have been in front of goal this afternoon. But for Clonguish, that's a fourth wide, and indeed on a number of occasions also saw attacks broken down by what is a very strong Ballymahon defence. It's 1-3 for Ballymahon, 6 points for Clonguish, and Fergal Kelly will once again take this kick out for the county champions. Ballymahon, first time ever champions last year. The ball is kicked out. It's knocked back into the danger area by Clonguish, but Ken Lovell quickly off his mark to get possession. Gets it out to Ken Cooney, who seems to be fouled, but in any case it doesn't matter because Cooney has possession back, and now he has been fouled, and it will be a free for Ballymahon. 45 metres out from goal. Free kick is taken. However, Enda Williams across to win possession for Clonguish. A very clever reader of the game is Enda Williams, playing at centre half back. A big ask for a minor player, but he's doing a great job so far this year for Clonguish. It's now with John Smith. Smith, however, will he be able to keep it in play? Indeed he will. He goes to ground, he gets up, he gets away from his man. Still John Smith for Clonguish. Smith on the end line, being pursued by Ken Lovell. Still John Smith, a chance, a shot from John Smith, and a lovely point from John Smith. And really he made the most of a bad situation there, because when he got possession he was virtually on the end line, over on the sideline, and a very good score, Dennis.
Yeah, he did very well. He had a lot of hard work to do. As you said, Brendan, he was over on the sideline. He had to work all the way in to get a shot at goal. It came from another long ball in, a big long ball in by Thomas O'Malley, broken down by John Dowd, and it's very simple football, but it is, you know, it's very effective as well. But it's a good score for Clonguish, a great score.
27 minutes gone in the 2003 Parkhouse Hotel Longford Senior Football Championship. Clonguish hit the front once more, 7 points to 1-3. Chance for them perhaps to go and get another one before half time, but not with balls like that. Ken Lovell comes off his line, or comes off his full back berth, I should say, to win possession. Gets it to Mark Lennon. Mark Lennon in turn finds Justin Nally 45 metres out from goal. Justin has been fouled. Free kick to Ballymahon. Clonguish are marking tightly, but they're also giving away plenty of frees, and the referee Tommy Donoghue now speaking with the linesman Peter O'Reilly, I suppose telling Peter how many minutes of stoppage time we will have at the end of this first half, and very shortly we will know. 1 minute of stoppage time. Paul Barden in possession for Clonguish. This time elects to pass the ball outside towards John Smith. Not a good ball from John, but it's fallen out of the hands of Gavin Dooley, who does ever so well to retrieve the situation. Ken Lovell back inside towards Mark Lennon, I should say, for Ballymahon. Alan Hudson is fouled. It'll be a free kick to Ballymahon. Hudson and Barden shaping up to one another, and in the end Barden just puts his arm around Hudson, gives him a little pat on the back, and perhaps is saying he's a little bit too big for me. The play will resume. A free kick for Ballymahon on the halfway line, or thereabout, taken by John O'Callaghan over towards Cahernally, but possession lost momentarily. It's still with Ballymahon, however, inside now towards Mark Connor. He does ever so well to get possession. He hasn't really featured so much in the game, but perhaps that will change in the second half, when Ballymahon should be getting a more even spread of possession and more opportunity to get the ball into the forward line. Something has happened over on the far side. The linesman not happy with the kick, and in the end it is going to be taken again, I think, by Ballymahon. Enda Barden is over having words with Tommy Donoghue, and I think the linesman on the far side, I think it could be Eugene Murtha, not sure from here, but it is a line ball, or in fact it's a hot ball now. Ballymahon win it back. 1-3 for them, but it's 7 points for Clonguish. The county champions a point behind, but they'll be happier because they have the wind to come in the second half, and that wind is picking up as we speak. There's a free kick for Clonguish. Enda Williams will take it about 25 metres out from goal, and again a long, high, hopeful ball rather than a directed pass. Paul Barden tries to win it. In the end it is won by Clonguish. It's Luke McGuinness. Long ball inside towards John Dowd, who's been fouled, nudged in the back by Ken Lovell, who's been fouled, nudged in the back by John Dowd. A free out to Ballymahon, and good refereeing from Tommy Donoghue, who certainly so far this afternoon has done a very good job on this year's county final. Michael McCormick traipsing up and down the sideline in front of us, the former Longford manager, now of course in charge of Clonguish, guided them to a county final appearance last year, and of course we'll be hoping to go one better, guiding them to a county title this year. It's half time in the senior final. It hasn't been brilliant, Dennis, in fairness, but perhaps we could be in for a good second half. Clonguish leading by a point. We might have suggested they need to be in front by more.
Maybe, but the two teams are so evenly matched that it's very hard to see much between them. They're nearly cancelling each other out. Both teams are working. The work rate is huge. They keep working, blocking, tackling. So it's very hard to see any free-flowing football in it. But at the same time, I expect that as the players get tired, and they definitely will get tired in the second half because they couldn't keep up this tackling and blocking that's going on and chasing. They really are fit. Both sets of players are fit, and it's a credit to both managers that are involved with them. And they can't keep that up. And I'd say the game will open up an awful lot more in the second half. That could go to either team's advantage, because you have the Bardens who are very fast down one end of the field. You have Frankie Dolan, Trevor Smullen, and Mark O'Connor hasn't really featured in the game at all up the other end. But I expect the game will liven up considerably in the second half.
It certainly needs to, but no doubt about it, the hungrier side will probably win it. And at half time here in the 2003 Parkhouse Hotel Longford Senior Football Championship Final, John, it's Clonguish who lead by 1. 7 points for them, 1-3 for Ballymahon. Dennis, and really so far it doesn't seem as if anybody wants to win it.
Well, it's not very exciting. It most certainly isn't exciting, and the only player that's really shining at the moment is young Paddy Dowd, who is putting in a tremendous amount of work and picking up ball all over the field, and he scored an excellent point from the midfield area as well. But I expect that the game will change. I noticed that Mark Lennon has gone to midfield now for Ballymahon, so that will bring around, I think that will improve the Ballymahon sector of the field, because Ballymahon have been very poor in midfield, and they have struggled with kickouts from Fergal Kelly today as well.
There's the first wide of the second half from Mark Connor, and indeed that's the first wide, I think, in fact a second wide for Ballymahon. They had one in the first half, but the game just underway. 23 seconds the second half underway here in Pearse Park. It's 7 points for Clonguish, remember, 1-3 for Ballymahon. So Ballymahon just a point in arrears and playing with a breeze that is stiffening as we speak. The clouds descending on Pearse Park. Perhaps we could have a bout of rain before the end of this year's county final, and don't rule out a draw. Nobody talking really about a draw. Nobody's standing on the fence or sitting on the fence, as it were, and I do believe we have a change, Dennis.
I don't see Alan Hudson out. I see Noel Grehan has come on a corner forward, so I think Justin Alley's gone.
Justin Alley gone for Ballymahon, but it's Noel Grehan who's in. Perhaps Hudson has gone to full forward. I do see him out there. He's he seems to be playing in the forward line in this second half. But here come Ballymahon. Good ball inside Edwin Nally. He's played well for Ballymahon this afternoon, but he's lost possession, and it's back with Clonguish and fouled over on this right hand side of the field, about 20 yards out from his own goal. Luke McGuinness, the wing half forward back, helping out his defence. Just a minute and a half gone in the second half, and Martin McHugh will certainly be tested by this wind with these kickouts in the second half. His side leading by a point, and certainly he'll be looking to try and pick out the likes of Paddy Dowd, who has been inspirational so far for Clonguish this afternoon. He's done a Trojan amount of work around the middle of the field, and where Ballymahon were expected to dominate, well then certainly Paddy Dowd has been the man there. Dowd goes up and wins another one, gets a touch onto it. 3 Clonguish players running after it. Here's Paddy Dowd once more. He knows how to create space for himself. Good ball from Dowd, in fact a great ball from Dowd towards Joseph O'Brien. O'Brien on the far side, steps inside, looks up and kicks. A chance for John Dowd. Is it gone in? Oh, it's gone to the left and wide. It was a cross-come shot from Joseph O'Brien, and when the ball came in front of the goals, John Dowd got a fist to it but couldn't direct it on target. And indeed, if Clonguish had scored a goal, we could have a real ding-dong tussle on our hands. We'll probably still have one anyway, but already a little bit more life has entered into this county final. A crowd of perhaps a little under 5,000, I'd imagine, in Pearse Park this afternoon. It's still a very respectable crowd for any county final. The ball is kicked out. Free for Ballymahon. John O'Callaghan has been fouled, gets the ball inside quickly towards Noel Grehan. He came on at half time for the Ballymahon men. Noel Grehan replacing Justin Nally inside, looking for the goal scorer from the first half, Trevor Smullen, who has possession for Ballymahon and doesn't give it away too easily. Still Trevor Smullen pushed to ground. That'll be a free into Ballymahon, about 43 metres out from goal, and Trevor Smullen has fallen very awkwardly, I think, on his right shoulder, but certainly he's received a knock, perhaps to the jaw, perhaps to the shoulder, but Christy Mannion is on to give attention as quickly as possible, and Trevor looks to be in a little bit of distress, Dennis.
Yeah, Trevor's had a shoulder injury right throughout the championship campaign this year, and he's in a lot of bother there at the moment. Ballymahon have had a good few changes. They've moved Cathal Nally from corner forward back to wing back. They've moved Alan Hudson to centre forward, and they brought Mark Lennon to the middle of the park, and they brought in Noel Grehan, as we said, at corner forward. So they've made a lot of changes at the break. There was a great attack by Clonguish. Joseph O'Brien got the ball, very speculative sort of shot, and John Dowd came very close to putting the ball in the back of the net for Clonguish, but he just failed. But Joseph O'Brien is very lively up front today. His shooting is a little bit erratic at the moment, but he's definitely posing a major threat.
He certainly is. It's Trevor Smullen who's down and receiving attention, and Trevor Smullen does not normally spend this much time on the ground, so he's genuinely injured. There's no doubt about that. He's a type of player, it's definitely his right shoulder, no doubt about that. He's a type of player who likes to get on with the action as quickly as possible, and indeed even if it's only bruising, that could affect Smullen's performance for the remainder of this game. He is the real playmaker on the Ballymahon team, and indeed if he were to leave the field, and he's back down again, if he were to leave the field, that would be a major blow for Ballymahon. And certainly Vinnie Ford, the team physio, is making his way back towards the dugout, perhaps in need of extra attention, but Smullen is back on his feet. He seems to be okay, and Vinnie Ford has decided to stay in the dugout, so Smullen will continue, no doubt about that, and will shake off that injury, I'm sure. But Frankie Dolan to take this free kick. It's about 42 metres out from goal with the wind. One would expect Frankie to find his range from here, but will he find the accuracy? It looks to be tailing out to the left, and it's come off the upright, and it's bounced safely into the waiting arms of Clonguish number 7, Pádraig Riley. Clonguish messing about in defence, and again they get away with it. Seamus Prunty gets it out to Enda Williams, and a good clearance from Enda Williams towards David Barden, and Clonguish can build from the back. 45 metres out from goal, David Barden goes on a run, tries to get away from John O'Callaghan. Still David Barden for Clonguish, underneath the stand on the far side. Still David Barden, good play from him, gets it to Paul, the brother Paul for Clonguish, perhaps the best known player on view this afternoon apart from Frankie Dolan. Paul Barden has been fouled. It'll be a free to Clonguish, and Barden not being allowed to run at this Ballymahon defence, but in any case Clonguish have turned defence very swiftly into attack. A free for Enda as the wind has died down slightly once more. A free for Enda. It's about 40 metres out, perhaps a little bit less than that, maybe 37 or 8. Well, it's certainly 37 or 8 now, because Enda has taken a few steps inwards. He looks up, he kicks, dangerous looking ball. It's broken off a defender. Ken Lovell chases after it for Ballymahon, the full back, but it's John O'Callaghan who'll get there first, and he's been fouled. It'll be a free out to Ballymahon. Ballymahon. And indeed, this game still, Dennis, has not come alive at all, really.
Yeah, it's following the same pattern as the first half. Lots of tackling, lots of work rate, but very little good football in it. Trevor Smullen, as you were saying, Brendan, Benny, Trevor Smullen, it took a knock on his shoulder and he would be a major loss if he had to go off, but he seems to be okay again. He seems to be recovering. But the game, I'd love to see this game livening up, and Clonguish got a goal that might liven it up a little bit more, but at the moment it's very, very dead.
Well, from a Clonguish point of view, they still lead by a point, and if it stays this dead and it stays the same scoreline, I'm sure Clonguish won't mind what sort of a county final it is. Remember, they haven't won a county title in 22 years. Ballymahon, of course, a different story for them. They won their first ever title last year. There are people on the field bringing water on and whatnot, and I'm sure there'll be fines issued for that. Vinnie Ford is on the field, the Ballymahon physio, also Christy Mannion. But here comes Clonguish on the attack. Joseph O'Brien trying to make his way towards goal, but it's cut out by Philip Quinn. Inside again towards John Smith, but a poor ball, and Ken Lovell, the most solid full back in club football this summer in Longford. Indeed, he gives possession away, but certainly it wasn't a great ball from Lovell. In the end, he's given away a free as well, and certainly the commentator's curse being put on Ken Lovell. He did ever so well to win possession. He made his way out from goal. He turned to give a reverse pass or a backwards pass, and in fact he gave it back to Clonguish, and a free on a foul on John Smith has resulted in a free for Clonguish and a chance for Paul Barden perhaps to get another score. Paul Barden already scoring 3 times in the first half, 7 points to 1-3 as we were at half time. Almost 8 minutes gone in the second half. Certainly a very disappointing county final, but a chance for Paul Barden nonetheless to extend the advantage held by Clonguish to 2 points. He scored a couple of points from similar positions in earlier rounds of the championship, particularly I remember against Arda, but a chance for Paul Barden. 7 points to 1-3. Clonguish are leading. 8 minutes and 15 seconds gone in the second half. That's a good kick from Paul Barden, and that's a very important score, Dennis Connerton, because now Clonguish lead by 2, and Ballymahon really, they've got to come to life.
They surely have. They haven't got out of the blocks at all in the second half. That's a great kick by Paul to record his 4th point of the match. It was just unfortunate for Ken Lovell. He did very well to win the ball. He got out in front, won the ball, seemed to be going forward, decided to turn back to give a reverse pass. Didn't come off for us. It didn't work out for him, but it's symptomatic of the game. The game is very scrappy overall. It's not the classic that we expected, but there's still time enough for both teams to get moving. I still expect these players to tire a bit and more space to become available to them, but it need to happen fairly soon.
It will indeed, and here come Ballymahon. Speaking of going on the attack, Mark Connor plays the ball inside towards Cathal Nally. Nally for Ballymahon, good fist pass in towards Noel Graham, who gets it out to Trevor Smullen. Smullen will try and make his way towards goal. It's still Trevor Smullen. He looks up, he shoots, and has he got the first score for Ballymahon? A very good score from Trevor Smullen, and whatever doubt there was about Smullen having an injury, he certainly has shaken it off fairly quickly. A very good score, and certainly Ballymahon look to Trevor Smullen when they need a tonic, and he always seems, Dennis, to come up with the goods.
Yeah, that was a marvellous score. Trevor was surrounded by 3 players, and he knifed his way between them and kicked a wonderful point. That score should lift Ballymahon now at this stage and get them back into the game again.
And certainly his goal in the first half is proving a vital score for Ballymahon. It's keeping them within a point of Clonguish. 8 points for Clonguish, 1-4 for Ballymahon. Something happening in there. The referee Tommy Donoghue not happy with the kick out from Martin McHugh. McHugh will take as much time as he can, there's no doubt about that. But it is a kick out to the Clonguish men. And Martin, of course, a former Leitrim great. He played at goals for Leitrim when they won the title in 1994. The Connacht title, of course. But looking for a good divot, it seems, to put this ball up on. That's a huge kick again against the breeze, but you can see it being held up as Paddy Dowd goes up to try and win possession for Clonguish, but instead of perhaps trying to catch it, he's tried to fist it down, and Ballymahon have it back. John O'Callaghan gets it to Ken Cooney. Ballymahon struggling in defence a little bit in the early stages of this second half. Cathal Nally, good ball from Cathal, turns defence into attack. Noel Graham, not a good ball from Noel Graham. One back by Clonguish. Enda Williams tries to get there, but it's back with Seamus Prunty, who barges his way through the centre, looks inside for Enda Barden, who'll get a boot to this, I'm sure. Enda Barden gets it up into his hands, does the sensible thing. He's got support outside if he wants it. He takes a lot of steps with it. Still end of Barden. Ball is on the ground. Barden goes to ground. Referee says play on. Still end of Barden. And in the end, little bit of tussle going on between the number 7 of Clonguish, Pádraig Riley, and Edwin Nally of Ballymahon. Edwin Nally has been booked already in the first half. Frankie Dolan is trying to throw his weight in as well. There are a number of players from both sides. Trevor Smullen is trying to pull them apart, and the referee Tommy Donoghue awarding a free to Clonguish when play resumes. And really a free for all. There's a man on the ground. I think it could be Edwin Nally, who was involved in a tussle with the Clonguish number 7 Pádraig Riley, and even though we don't like to see it, Dennis, it might lift this game.
Yeah, it'll surely lift the spirits, all right. It's just sort of innocuous the way it happened. There was Enda was under serious amount of pressure, and a couple of players got involved. Then he had his free. Tommy Donoghue giving him his free, so there was no problem, except that the players all got involved. They're a little bit frustrated at this stage, but it's I think it'll sort itself out.
It's Edwin Nally, in any case, who's on the ground, and he's receiving attention. And with just 12 minutes gone in the second half, 18 minutes to go, Paul Barden has been spoken to by the referee Tommy Donoghue, and indeed one wonders why, first of all, and then what will he do, because Paul Barden didn't seem to be part of the action at all. Tommy Donoghue is having words with Paul Barden, I suppose most influential player on the Clonguish team, and one wonders, it's a yellow card for Paul Barden. We'll call it a lucky let-off, because if he struck, or if he attempted to strike, then he could have been sent off. But in any case, the free to Clonguish has been reversed. We'll have a hot ball, and this stop-start county final really hasn't got to life yet. Perhaps we'll have a replay. Perhaps that will be the best thing to happen, as the ball will be thrown in among Alan Hudson and Enda Barden by Tommy Donoghue. Donoghue throws it up goes Enda Barden, tries to win possession. Paddy Dowd tries to win possession. Edwin Nally tries to win possession. Nobody can get the ball up into their hands. It's now with Clonguish. Here's David Barden. Clonguish go on the attack. Paddy Dowd is on the outside if David can spot him, but he hasn't spotted him, and in the end he's lost possession, and that's poor play from David Barden. And Ballymahon can win possession in defence. Again, poor play defensively from Ballymahon. The ball is knocked out by Paul Barden. It will be a line ball to Ballymahon, and at last a little bit of life entering into the contest here in Pearse Park. The 2003 Parkhouse Hotel Longford Senior Football Championship final has been a damp squib so far, without the rain, that is, but certainly it's been dire stuff. Ken Cooney plays it inside to the other Ken Lovell, long high lofted ball into the danger area. Out comes Seamus Bertie, the fullback. He has improved, no doubt about it, this year as well, the fullback for Clonguish. Long clearance from him towards John Dowd. Will Dowd get there ahead of the line? The answer is no, he won't. It's gone out over the line. It will be a line ball to Ballymahon, and again another excuse for this game to stop. And certainly the game has been riddled with frees and riddled with the ball leaving the perimeter of the field. It has slowed it down quite considerably. Clonguish will be happy, however. They lead by a point. They're playing against the wind. There's another man gone down over on the far side. Nobody, it seems, has seen it, but Ballymahon are on the attack. Alan Hudson. Still Alan Hudson for Ballymahon. Gets it back outside. That's a lovely looking ball towards the full forward Mark Lennon. Barges into Paddy Dowd. He looks up, he shoots, and has it gone over the bar? Indeed it has. It's a wonderful kick from Mark Lennon, and Ballymahon are back on level terms, 1-5 to 8 points. Mark Lennon gets his first score of the county final, a badly needed score for Ballymahon, who have now scored the last 2 points to get back on level terms. Almost 15 minutes gone in the second half, but there was an incident over on the far side, and it seems nobody saw it, Dennis. Yeah, and I didn't catch it myself because I was following the ball. Mark Lennon's after kicking a great point. It was a terrific ball across him, and he had room, and he made extra space for himself and made sure the point. I don't know what happened. The game is getting a little bit needly at the moment. As you said, is riddled with mistakes. It's, there's so many players giving the ball away. It's very scrappy. There's a guy down. They're seeking further attention for him. I hope there's nobody badly hurt, but the game is getting a little bit needly at the moment also. It certainly is. I think it could be the centre half back for Clonguish, Enda Williams, who's down on the ground. There's a yellow card being handed out over on the far side as well, and the referee is calling for something as well. And the Clonguish mentor Michael Mulvey splashing some water on the face of the Ballymahon player. I think it's Alan Hudson, not sure, but in any case there will be a temporary substitute coming in. Alan Hudson is going off, and coming in for the moment in any case is John Lennon. Alan Hudson making his way off for a couple of moments. He obviously has a cut to the head. Michael Mulvey still giving attention to Enda Williams. Enda Williams seems to be in some bother over on the far side, and it seems as if the Clonguish number 21, that's Pádraig Cooney, is being introduced. But one wonders what will Tommy Donoghue do. Remember, it is a goal kick to Clonguish. He's already brandished a yellow card. I think it was to Alan Hudson. I presume play will resume with Martin McHugh's kick out. Michael Mulvey is still giving attention. He's now looking for further help and further assistance from the line. But Enda Williams is still down, and indeed another stop to this county final. 2.5 minutes now Enda Williams has spent on the ground, and now the stretcher is coming on for Enda Williams, and that will be a big blow to Clonguish as well, because Williams had been playing very solidly at centre half back, and really it's nearly gone beyond a joke at this stage, Dennis.
Indeed it is. Enda Williams has been very effective. He's done a great job with Mark O'Connor. Mark O'Connor has been arguably one of the best players in the championship so far, but he's not in the game at all today, and that is a great credit. All that credit is due to Enda Williams, but he seems to be down. It seems to be a serious injury. The stretcher has been brought on. I didn't see what happened to the young player, and I hope his injury is not too serious.
Well, I did hear cheers of disapproval from the Clonguish supporters in the stand, which might suggest that there was somebody else involved, but then we didn't see it, so if we didn't see it we can't comment on it. But it could, I suppose, have an unsettling effect on the Clonguish defence, and could allow perhaps Mark Connor to eventually get himself into this game. Yeah,
but it's coming near the stage that somebody would need to get into the game. You know, the game is it's a damp squib at the moment. It's very lifeless, and we're approaching last 15 minutes of the game. There should be a bit of life coming into it at this stage, if it's ever going to happen.
Yeah, in fact we've only got a little over 12 minutes remaining. A very, very poor county final here in 2003, and perhaps the most startling fact to state from the game is that nobody seems to want to win it. Perhaps there's nerves involved, but certainly it's been littered with mistakes, and indeed there have been a number of injuries, one to Trevor Smullen in the early stages of the second half, and now one to Enda Williams, which seems far more serious. It's 8 points to 1-5. It's a draw match at the moment, and certainly in my humble opinion, if it remained level and these sides got another crack at the whip, I'm sure everybody, including the Longford County Board, would be happy with that. But Williams, the Red Cross are out helping Enda Williams. He will leave the field, I'm sure, very shortly. There's been a long break here. We could be here for quite a while after the 30 minutes, John, because already it's almost been 4 minutes since Enda Williams went down injured. He still hasn't left the field. It's obviously a serious knock. Well, we hope first of all that he is okay, but Martin McHugh still waiting to take the kick out, and still it's anybody's game, Dennis.
It surely is, yes. The game is wide open at this stage. Both teams are level. It has been a very tight, close game right throughout. We expected that, and I'm just a little bit concerned about Enda Williams. You know, it's a tragedy for such a young player to receive an injury in his first county final, and I just hope for his own sake and sake of his family that's not too bad. But he is down a long time, as you say, 4.5 minutes now. That's a long time to be lying there on the ground, so it must be a very serious injury.
It certainly seems to be that way. Colin Clark is warming up. He's been spoken to by his manager Michael McCormack. We assume that Colin Clark will go in place of Enda Williams, and he seems to have taken his place in the forward line. Enda Williams, however, was playing in defence. We might see perhaps Paddy Dowd moving to centre half back for Clonguish. It will not help their situation at midfield, but perhaps one of their forwards, maybe even Paul Barden, might go out and join his brother Enda in the middle of the field. But at the moment, Paul Barden still at centre half forward, still being marked by Ken Cooney. We'll wait and see developments, but Enda Williams being transported from the field by way of stretcher. We saw it in the juvenile final as well. It's horrible to see any player going off on a stretcher. The rain is about to arrive. Perhaps we've had the first few trickles already, because the gloves are being thrown onto the field for both sets of players. Conley Clark, who was on the field without gloves a moment ago, now he's got them on him. Ballymahon also putting on their gloves, and still Enda Williams being carried off the field. Miranda Moran, the team physio, giving some attention to Enda, but obviously it wasn't going to work. Williams is badly injured, it would seem, and he will play no further part in this year's county final. And indeed, during his time on the field, although it has been a poor game, he has been one of the most impressive players. So Collie Clark is in. We'll tell you about the reshuffle in a moment or two, but Martin McHugh will now take the kick out 6 minutes after the injury happened. McHugh kicks out towards the centre. Clonguish will win it. Paddy Dowd, however, the ball has been touched on the ground. It's a free to Clonguish. We have 9 minutes of normal time to go, plus I would imagine at least 5 or 6 minutes of injury time as Paddy Dowd kicks in. In fact, we could even have more. We could have 7 or 8. Here's Joseph O'Brien over on the far touchline. A chance for Joseph perhaps to make an angle for a shot, but he gives it to Paul Barden. Paul Barden, the most exciting player on the field on his day, gets it back outside again towards Collie Clark. Clark looking for support, gets it back out towards Joseph O'Brien, but that's dreadful from Clark, and Ballymahon have it back. And here's Gavin Dooley over towards John Lennon, who's come on in the last few minutes for Ballymahon. Lennon getting the ball inside towards Edwin Nally, who set up the goal in the first half for Trevor Smullen. Free to Ballymahon on the halfway line, taken by John O'Callaghan inside towards John Lennon once more. Lennon looks up, Lennon shoots, and Lennon has put it to the left and wide. That's a very bad miss from John Lennon. That was a chance for Ballymahon to go back in front for the first time since they scored their goal in the 19th minute. But it's been kicked left and wide by John Lennon, and the sides are still level. We have a little under 8 minutes of normal time to go, but do expect at least 5 or 6 of injury time. The umbrellas are up, and certainly if the game was going to improve, you'd at least expect the weather to stay fine, but that's not the case. The umbrellas are up. We might even see a further disimprovement, but in any case, here's David Barden. He's 35 metres out from goal. He's got Paul inside him. Paul Barden looks up and shoots, and Paul Barden has scored for Clonguish. Great score from Paul Barden, and certainly when he gets motoring, he's a wonderful player to watch, and that was a great score, and again set up by the work rate of David.
Yeah, that's the Barden brothers at their best. David did very well. He travelled 40-50 metres at the ball and set it up for Paul, who kicked a great score. That's the best score of the match. But the game is beginning to open up. I feel I sense that would happen all along. Players are beginning to get tired now. Luke McGuinness has gone to midfield for Clonguish. Collie Clark's come in the wing, and Paddy Dowd has gone back centre half back. John Lennon has also come on for Ballymahon. He's come on for Alan Hudson.
He certainly has, and Ballymahon a lucky let-off for Ken Lovell. He hasn't decided to wear gloves. He let that latest one slip out of his grasp, but he's recovered well, and Ken Cooney in possession gets it into John O'Callaghan. Back to Ken Cooney once more on the halfway line. Good ball inside from Ken. Too much on it, however, and chasing after this one is the Clonguish number 4. That's Gerard O'Malley. It's kept in play by Ballymahon, however. It's with Mark Connor. Mark fist pass back towards Edwin Nally. Nally looking for support, nobody in support. He has to go backwards towards Ken Cooney. Cooney gets it into the centre. Clonguish closing down Ballymahon at every opportunity. Ken Cooney, lovely ball from Ken. Now it's opening up for Ballymahon. Good ball from Ken Cooney inside. Noel Grehan takes a few steps too many, perhaps. The referee waves play on. Great ball inside. Trevor Smullen shoots. It's a wonderful score from Trevor Smullen. Wonderful point. A great score. We did say the last score from Clonguish was the best score of the game. We might change our mind now, Dennis.
Well, the game was fantastic now, and I'm delighted that the game has opened up. I expected this to happen. That was a great score again. That was well worked up all the way to field. Ken Cooney gave a beautiful ball out to John O'Callaghan, who fed it across to Noel Grehan, and the score, he laid it off to Trevor Smullen. That was another tremendous score. So the game really is opened up now, and we're in for a lively last 10-12 minutes of this game.
No doubt about it. We have 6 minutes of normal and perhaps another 6 of injury to go. No sign really of Frankie Dolan this afternoon. He's been really not at the races as such. Perhaps too much expected from him, but certainly the service has not been good. Poor ball from Enda Barden. It's won back by Ballymahon. Gavin Dooley over on the far side of the field, racing out from goal. Gets it out towards Robbie Forbes. Ballymahon struggling to get possession out of their own half. It's now with Cathal Nally. Nally into the centre to Ken Cooney, the team captain for Ballymahon, who lifted the Connolly Cup last year. Here's Edwin Nally racing at the Clonguish defence. He's been very good for Ballymahon this afternoon. He was yellow carded in the first half, but that's just an indication of the level of commitment that he gives. He's been fouled and 45 metres out from goal with the wind at his back. Frankie Dolan should be able to put Ballymahon back in front. Christy Mannion is running onto the field to have words, I think, with Trevor Smullen. In fact, it's Mark Connor he's having words with. Now he's going in a little bit further. He's got gloves in his hands. That's what he's doing, passing the gloves out to the Ballymahon players. It's 1-6 for Ballymahon, 9 points for Clonguish. It's a draw match. I don't expect it to stay a draw match for much longer, although this kick for Frankie Dolan is 45 metres out from goal. It's wind assisted, and one might suggest that Frankie should be good enough to put this one over the bar. Again, there's a player down injured for Ballymahon. Not sure who it is. I think it's Edwin Nally, the man who was fouled indeed for this free. It was Edwin Nally, and the 45 metre free, not a 45 but on the 45 metre line, will be taken by Frankie Dolan. Can Ballymahon go back in front? They led last in the 19th minute of the first half. In fact, they led after 24 when Frankie pointed to put them 1-3 to 5 in front. Can he put them in front again? The answer is a very definite yes. A very good kick from Frankie Dolan. He really is a wonderful free taker, and if for nothing else, he's worked his place on the team for that alone. From play, he hasn't done much this afternoon, but certainly he's scored some vital kicks, Dennis.
Yeah, he's got great technique, and that was a terrific kick from 47 metres out. He makes it look so easy, you know. He's a real skillful player, and he's one of the best players in the country at kicking frees, no doubt about that, and he's well worth his place in any county team.
No doubt about that either. The ball is kicked out towards the middle. John Dowd tries to win it. Again, another man without gloves. He lets it drop out of his hands, and in the end, a foul on John Lennon results in a free to Ballymahon. And John Lennon has certainly made a difference since introduced. He's got a couple of good pieces of possession already. That's a good ball in towards Frankie, but Frankie didn't see it coming, and in the end it has been won back by Brendan Burke, who finds Paddy Dowd. Dowd inside. It's a poor ball from Paddy, but David Barton gets it back, and in the end the ball, it seems, has gone out over the line, and if it hasn't, it's a free to Clonguish. It's John Lennon who's been spoken to by the referee, Tommy Donoghue. He'll be yellow carded. Didn't really see the challenge. It didn't seem too serious, but in any case it is a free to Clonguish. In fact, not even a yellow card, just a ticking for the Ballymahon man, and Paddy Dowd wants to take this kick as quickly as possible. We have 2.5 minutes of normal time plus a good bit of stoppage time to come. That's a very poor kick from Paddy, straight out over the line. He was near the line when he kicked it, and he kicked it in the direction of the stand, and that's exactly where it went, out over the line. And it'll be a line ball to Ballymahon, a poor county final. 2 minutes and 8 seconds of normal time plus a good bit of stoppages to go. Trevor Smullen back helping out in defence. It's a great ball from Trevor towards the forward line. Well, John Lennon came out to try and win it, but in the end Paddy Dowd has won it for Clonguish and plays a lovely ball into the centre towards Luke McGuinness. McGuinness inside towards John Smith. John Smith for Clonguish takes a lot out of that one, too much in fact, and in the end it's won back by Ballymahon, and it's won by Edwin Nally, who again has been working like a horse for Ballymahon all afternoon, and he wins a free. He's been fouled. Free kick to Ballymahon, and I think it's John O'Callaghan who's gone over to take this free kick. Referee Eugene Murtha is coming in to have a word with the referee, I should say the linesman Eugene Murtha, having a word with the referee Tommy Donoghue, probably telling us how much stoppage time we will have. There's no doubt about it, it will be pretty lengthy. I think I might have seen Eugene say 7 down there. I didn't see a board go up yet. It definitely seemed as if it began with an S. It is 7 minutes of stoppage time we'll have in this year's county final. That means we have 8 minutes to go, and it's still there for Clonguish, but Ballymahon, who lead by a point with the wind, have a chance now to extend even further. Here's Trevor Smullen. He's taken a lot of steps, but he's gotten away with it. Ballymahon on the attack once more. Good ball towards Frankie. Frankie trying to go away from Brendan Burke, but it's a difficult man to get away from as Brendan. Not a good ball from Frankie. Held inside by Martin McHugh. Has he been fouled? Referee says yes. Free kick to Clonguish, taken quickly towards Seamus Prunty. Seamus Prunty. Now there's a bit of urgency about Clonguish. It seems as if Clonguish were happy to be a point in front. Now that they're a point behind, they're really chasing the game, and they want to improve the standard. And Ballymahon now, I suppose, employing the tactics that were employed by Clonguish when they were in front. But certainly it's there for the taking for either side in this county final of 2003. Clonguish looking for the first title in 22 years. Ballymahon looking for 2 in a row. Collie Clark over on the far side. Good play from the number 17. Collie Clark, he's taken a lot of steps with it, but the ball has gone to ground, and now he's won it back, gets it into David Barden, takes a couple of turns with that one, and now he's been fouled soft free, it must be said, and a chance for Clonguish to get back on level terms, and perhaps with 7 minutes of stoppage time to go. Just to tell you, the number 13 for Clonguish, John Smith, will be coming off very shortly. We'll tell you who'll replace him in a moment. Tommy Donoghue has moved the ball in a little. Free kick to Clonguish. Should be a score for Enda Barden with the left boot. And indeed, if it is a score, we'll be back on level terms. We have 37 seconds of stoppage time played. Another 6 minutes to go. Enda Barden has scored under pressure, it must be said. A very good score from Enda. Back on level terms. Who do you go for now, Dennis?
It's very hard to call us at this stage. The wind is still in Ballymahon. The wind should have been bearing in the last 5 minutes of the game. But it's anybody's game. Whoever wants it now at this stage, whoever's got the greater appetite for this game will definitely win it. But the game is very lively at this stage, and I expect a grandstand finish from both teams. There'll be a couple of scores from each team before the end of the game.
David Quinn is in for Clonguish. He replaces John Smith. David Quinn, the number 18, replacing the corner forward John Smith. Ball is kicked out towards the middle of the field. John Dowd does well to scoop it up for Enda Barden, who tries to race through the centre. He's lost possession. Ballymahon have it back. Mark Lennon into Trevor Smullen. Trevor has been fouled. Free kick to Ballymahon. 1-7 to 10 points. Almost 2 minutes of the stoppage time have elapsed. 5 to go. A very tight game, a very poor game in general. There have been some fine scores and some fine performances, but in general, a very, very poor county final here in Longford in 2003. John O'Callaghan kicks it in. It's going to be won back by Clonguish. Casual defending from the men in green and white from Newtown Forbes, but they've worked the ball down towards the danger area. It seemed to be touched on the ground by Ken Lovell. And Lovell, without the gloves, has given it back to Paul Barden. Barden racing through for Clonguish. Paul Barden with a chance to put them in front. He shoots and he scored. It's a wonderful kick from Paul Barden. And Clonguish hit the front. 11 points to 1-7. I don't think there's going to be any doubt about the man of the match if Clonguish win it, Dennis.
That's for sure. Paul dispossessed Ken Lovell. He got a great score. He raced through. Yeah, that's the 6 point of the game. There'll be no doubt about it from a Clonguish point of view. If Clonguish win this, Paul Barden will be most definitely their man of the match.
4 minutes of stoppage time to go. Clonguish win possession again around the middle of the field. John Dowd, lovely pass inside, but it's not gathered, and Ballymahon win it back. Edwin Nally, 45 metres out from goal, gets it into Ken Cooney. Cooney's got support outside him. That support is in the form of Robbie Forbes, who blasts the ball into the danger area. Mark Connor, who's done precious little this afternoon. Still Mark Connor, a chance for Connor to shine. He looks up, he shoots, it's going in the right direction. Has it got the range? It's held under the post by Martin McHugh, the goalkeeper for Clonguish, who plays the ball outside towards Thomas O'Malley. Inside to Paddy Dowd, another man who'll go close to winning man of the match this afternoon. No doubt about that. Paddy Dowd has been pulled and dragged, but play on, says the referee. A great ball inside from Paddy towards Joseph O'Brien, who can't hold it. It's won back by Ken Lovell. Lovell inside to Gavin Dooley. Dooley elects to leave it for Ken Cooney. Back to Ken Lovell. At last the game getting exciting with 4 minutes of stoppage time almost played and 3 to go. We're really seeing the first life of the afternoon. Ball goes to ground. It's won by Luke McGuinness for Clonguish. Paul Barden. Still Paul Barden for Clonguish. Everybody moving away from him, nobody really wanting to close him down, and now they're around him like rats. He looks up, he kicks, it's not going to go wide, I don't think. It's a dangerous looking ball. It's held by Fergal Kelly, and Kelly clears his lines once more. A lucky let off for Kelly, but well watched by the goalkeeper. It was a very dangerous ball inside from Paul Barden. Ballymahon have it, they're a point behind. Trevor Smullen towards Frankie Dolan. He badly needs a score. He badly needs one from play. So do Ballymahon. If they want to hold on to their crown, they must score again. Frankie, good ball over to the far side of the field. Inside once more towards John Lennon. Can John become the hero for Ballymahon? No, he decides to ship ownership of this one. It's still with Ballymahon. It's with Edwin Nally, perhaps the best player. A chance of a goal for Ballymahon. Is it fisted over? It's over the bar. It could have been a goal because Noel Graham was all on his own on the right of the small parallelogram, but Edwin Nally has fisted it over the bar. A very good score, and with just 2 minutes to go, it's going to be a ding-dong finish, Dennis.
Yeah, it's a great finish. It's a great finish to the game, and it's really, the players have put in a great effort right throughout the game. I said the game was always highly competitive. Only both teams were sort of cancelling each other out, but now we've got a much more open game. And this game, anybody can still win this game. This game is not over yet.
Certainly not. We have 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. The Ballymahon man down in need of attention was Edwin Nally, but Tommy Donoghue telling him to get back up on his feet. It's a draw match. It's 1-8 for Ballymahon. It's 11 points for Clonguish. If this match finishes level, we imagine the replay will be in 2 weeks' time. We're not sure on that. We'll let you know a little bit later if it arises. We haven't had a drawn county final in a while, and indeed, despite saying that there were 7 minutes of stoppage time, the match is over with 1 minute and 40 seconds of injury time to go. Dennis, that's, I suppose, it's the easy way out in many ways, but there were 2 minutes to go. They weren't played.
Yeah, I thought it was finished a little bit early myself. We were expecting another couple of minutes to play. It didn't happen. A lot of people will go home very happy. I suppose 2 teams will go away from happy as well. And I see Seamus Kiernan behind me here. He's surely smiling from a county board point of view. So there's very little between the teams. I expected it would be a very, very close game. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes the next day now. But the game was, I felt there was another minute and a half to go in the game.
There certainly was. It finished brilliantly, but then it finished all of a sudden. I suppose it was unfortunate. But if we had seen the football we saw in the last 7 or 8 minutes for more of the game, it would have been a cracker.
It was a great finish to the game. It's unfortunate that we feel the game has ended a bit early, but Tommy done a great game right throughout the county final. Handled the game magnificently. Maybe there was a little bit of misunderstanding at the time he gave his third official or fourth official, I should say. But the game really finished on a high, and there were some tremendous scores in the last 5 minutes of play. And I look forward. The game the next day, there'll be no nerves involved, but it'll be a replay of a county final, and I would expect an even better game the next day.
Yes, indeed. Well, now that wouldn't be asking for a lot, Dennis, really, if we look at most of this afternoon's proceedings. But Clonguish, perhaps marginally the better team, and in particular, Paul Barden was quite outstanding.
Yeah, Paul Barden kicked 6 points. But Clonguish overall seemed to have a greater hunger on the day. But still, they kicked more wides, of course, but it still didn't win the game. And Ballymahon have a habit of hanging on in games, and don't look like they're doing an awful lot. But at the end of the game, they're never far away from winning it, or they're never too far behind. They're always in touch. So it'll be interesting to see how the next day goes. Who's going to win? Who's going to learn more over the next couple of weeks between this today and the replay? Who's going to learn most from today's game? Whichever team learns most will definitely win the next day. Enda Williams, of course, how badly injured is Enda Williams? I thought his 2 ankles were strapped together. If his ankle is broken, that's very unfortunate for that young player, because he is a great prospect, and he was having a tremendous game there today when he got hurt. But overall, the young players for Clonguish were very good. Everybody expected that they might get stage fright here. Paddy Dowd, a great game. Joseph Ryan looked very threatening in possession of the ball. But it was, the game was very competitive. It wasn't the best football for the first, let's say, the first 45 minutes of the game, but definitely the last 15 minutes, the last quarter of that game, the game opened up, and we had as good a football as what we've seen all year in the championship in the last 15 minutes.
And finally, I suppose, Dennis, if we think of what Tommy did, blowing it up perhaps a minute.